things that aren't there. Paranormal activity, stalking spirits, past lives, portals into the unknown, and more. Take a journey into the shadows with your hosts Regina and Teresa as they discuss all things paranormal. Regina Stewart is a psychic medium who has been interested in the paranormal ever since the age of 7, when she realized she could communicate with people who were no longer amongst the living. Teresa McLean is a spiritually gifted psychic who at the age of 3 had a near-death out-of-body experience, which resulted in her being stalked her entire life by a hitchhiking entity. Teresa knows how it truly feels to be haunted. This isn't a show for the easily offended or faint-hearted. Now, follow me as Teresa and Regina take us into the shadows.
Ooh, okay, here we go. We've had some technical difficulties. We always do when we first start off with anything. We've got the chat room up. Uh-oh. Okay, here we go. We got the chat room up, and we're ready to start the show. So we're going to try a new format, and we've got Regina here too, and I'm going to go ahead and present her to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
And man, Regina, this has been difficult. You remember what it was like when we did just the regular blog talk, right?
Yeah, and with that, people couldn't see us. But now they can see us rolling our eyes because we're frustrated.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was difficult. So I don't know what's going on. Like I said, we don't even know who's here and who isn't yet. I don't see anybody here yet. So who knows, Regina? Anyway, it's being taped. So if anybody misses it, I guess they can take and look at it later.
Yeah.
We can go ahead and talk like we normally do. Since it's live, who knows what's going to happen. I enjoyed your little thing the other night with Bruno on the bed.
Yeah. Tonight Bruno had to go get in his kennel because he was trying to get something under my dresser over here, and he was making all kinds of noises, and I was like, oh, I don't think that's gonna be good for the show. But anyway, so he's quiet.
No, not
quiet for right now. But
I love Darren Marlar's introduction. We use that. That's what we used to use on the Blog Talk Radio. So I'm grateful that we still have that. And man, he has an amazing voice.
I know. We need to, and it'll be neat to have him on here now so people can see the face behind the voice.
So yeah, I wonder if he'll do that for us. I hope so.
To get him on.
I know there's going to be a lot of different guests that we can that want to return. And I don't know what you're seeing. You're seeing me little and you big right now, right?
I'm big and you're little. Yep. Yeah. So
I'll bring myself up in a little bit. So
it'll be neat to see some of the bigger names that we've had on the show, to see if they'll agree to come on. So it'd be kind of neat for their fans and everybody to see their face, to see their voice and their face actually talking to people and being, real, other than being either on TV shows or whatever they're doing. So it's always neat to see those type of people in a real life setting, so maybe we can get some of those people back on.
Oh yeah, I think that would be a great idea too. Not only that, we had some interesting guests like, Bill Bean, and he's promised that he would come back on again. And then, of course, DeSave, he was great to talk to, and I'm sure he would come on again if we asked him to. And then we have some new people that would come on. And one that would be interesting would be Anthony and Dina Holmes, too, to see what they've been up to.
Oh, and they always have stuff going on. So they're everywhere in the paranormal field. So there's always neat things to talk to them about. So they'll be a good one to come back.
Oh yeah, and I think they had posted a picture of I guess a Bigfoot thing that they went on. Their hands are kind of in everything, and they're in a research group too. So I got to interview with them on my near-death experience, and it got posted on their research center. So that was a lot of fun to do. Exciting things going on. But let's go ahead and start with you, Regina, and kind of like tell everybody kind of what's been going on with you. I know we took this break. I'm sorry, folks. Life kind of got hectic for both Regina and I, and we had to take a little bit of a break. Not because we, wanted to, just basically because, life got busy. So since our break, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody what's been going on, with you, Regina, and what's been new happening to you, what you're kind of been doing lately.
Well, I took a break for a while from everything, my readings and paranormal stuff in general, just everything, and kind of dealt with, health stuff, family stuff, and all that. But now I'm back, and it's like once I decided to come back, I have been hit boom, boom, boom with tons of opportunity, doing readings like crazy again. So I'm doing that. Readings by Regina. You can go check me out on Facebook and my website. But so I'm doing that. I have a lot of stuff going on with the city of Temple, which is where I live here in Texas. And so we're doing walks once a month. We're doing that. And I'm just getting more involved with things, trying to get back into investigating, and which is where my passion really is helping people. So getting back into that, and us getting back into our show. I mean, it just seems like everything is, I think for both of us, things are just picking up. It seems like, I mean, we talk all the time, and your team is doing a lot, and then I'm doing a lot with with other other people, other teams with the city. I don't know. I mean, there's just so much going on. I know that here in the next year, I have some opportunities coming up with big events that they're putting on. That I think the city of Temple didn't realize that there was such a a need for stuff like this, stuff like the paranormal and these haunted history walks and things like that. And when we had a turnout of over 900 people, when we were only supposed to have 300 come out, I think that's when the city really realized there's something here with that. So anyway, so they've already approached me to do some more things next year. So that's a possibility, depending on where I am, and what I'm doing. But anyway, so I mean, just just lots of stuff in the paranormal. I mean, I'm going to focus on that this year. It's just what I want to do, and so I'm kind of just jumping in with both feet and full force. So. What about you? I know that you have tons of stuff going on with your team, and new people joining and all that kind of stuff. So what do you have going on?
Yeah, mine's been pretty busy too. Whoops, I'm trying to get me up now and change places with you here and go into yours. Let me see. I'll have to do it this way. Sorry, it takes little, folks, Oh, you're little now?
On my end.
On your end?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Okay. Well, on my end, I'm not. So I'm big. I'm little too. On my end, I don't know why. That's kind of strange.
You're on the main screen, so you're good, I think.
Oh, okay. Now, whoops. Here we go.
Oh, there you go.
I just discovered something, folks. So that's really nice. We'll talk. Sorry about that. We'll talk a little bit about what's been going on with my thing. We've been busy. The team has starting to grow. We got a new member, Rob. He's a guy that works with Steve, and he's never been investigating before. And we took him on our first investigation to the Jasper Jail in Florida, and we got to do that. Not the Jasper Jail, I'm sorry. I'm getting my things confused. The Jasper Jail, we went with another team. Okay, sorry. The Ashburn in Georgia, we took Rob to. we stayed the night. We actually stayed the night over there. We did a long investigation of it. It was a nifty place. I just posted the results and the evidence little clips that I do for YouTube and on for my videos and stuff. We had a lot of things happen there. My favorite thing was what we called the wet willy, which I was real excited about. While we were there, I was standing with my back against the cells, and I was kind of doing a little provoking and saying, things, trying to get them started up, how we do. And I ended up with my hair being moved away from my ear, and it felt like somebody stuck their finger or their tongue in my ear, and my ear was actually wet. So that was a lot of fun. The only problem was we didn't get it on camera. We did get it on audio. That was a place that's supposed to be super, super duper haunted, and it wasn't quite as haunted as what we expected, but that happens too. Then we went to the Jasper Gel with another kind of part-time person who wants to be a member on our team, and he's belongs to KY paranormal team.
Why are you laughing?
Because the initials of that. I'm sorry.
I know why you're laughing. I just
I've got a dirty mind.
And Steve's not even there to provoke you.
I know. Anyway, he's a cool guy, and we went and we investigated with him and his wife. And sad thing, right after that investigation, maybe a couple weeks after, his wife passed away, kind of shockingly so, and that was sad. But since then, we've been on several other ones with him, and he's kind of interested in intermingling with us and maybe joining the team as a part-time. Then I did have a new person that's going to be coming onto the team, and she's right now doing some of my research for me. She has access to things that I don't. So far, she's done a great job with that. And the next investigation, we're going to get her on board to do the physical part of it. And then from there, we present, with bios and stuff like that, and add her to the team. Then we have another one that's interested. So we're growing, with the other ones that are on our team already. We've been very busy. We took the month of December off. There's reasons for that. A lot of people don't realize, which I know me and you talked about this, Regina, about evidence and what we do. My team, I do a very controlled investigation. I don't do what we call, and what you would call, Regina, a free-for-all, where you just go in with all kinds of groups and you just scatter and you investigate in different rooms. That's contaminated. You'll get voices on your recorder and stuff from the other rooms. So to me, that's not a true investigation. A true investigation is you set up a command center, and you only allow so many people in that environment at one time, so you lessen the contamination and your evidence is more real. So that's kind of like what I like to do with my team. So, it makes it different. And like, what we were talking about, they didn't understand that when you do that and you go home from the investigation, like we like to set up, anywhere from 3 to 4 cameras. That's video cameras wired up with all our tools that we use. So for each hour that's on the video camera, that's 4 hours of review. Then you have the audio that's hooked. We hook up a voice recorder to our callers and everything else, and we go in and we also review those. So just for 1 hour's worth of video and audio, you're talking about 6 hours to 8 hours just to go through that. And then, of course, from there, you grab the evidence, you copy it, paste it into your files, and then, like I do, even more time consuming, compile them into a clip and advertise, with our logo and stuff like that, and actually make it into a little tiny movie for YouTube. So for one investigation, for like 3 to 4 hours of an investigation, takes me 3 to 4 weeks to be able to produce a burnt copy for my client, which is very important for them. So that's kind of what's going on with us. And we've got a lot of things coming up. We've got a hopeful hotel that has been off limits to a lot of paranormal investigators that we might have access to. So I'm not going to speak about that one. And then we just got done doing some others that I really can't talk about because we presented some information and in confidentiality. We do a lot of residential. You know, we've been kind of delving into the commercial stuff with the other team, Roger and his team. But my preference is the residential. So that's kind of where we're at there. Same with Regina, you know, just staying busy. And then, of course, we've got, you know, the show that we're trying to get back up and running again, too, just so we could talk to people and get things out, kind of express our opinions, which are our opinions, you know. So, you know, that's kind of where we're at. And now it's Christmas time. You know, I think I remember us doing this when we started this. It was at Christmas time. Do you remember? Right before.
Yeah, we did. I remember us taking our little break and coming back in February. I think that's how we worked it. We were kind of like, let's take a little break and come back in, you know, late, maybe January, February. So this is kind of neat coming back now, and we'll just run through and maybe do this. I don't know. We haven't even discussed how often we're going to do this. If we want to do it every couple of weeks or once a month or what we're going to do, but it's a neat way to get out there and just talk to people and interact, and hopefully we'll have more people as the weeks and months go by watching YouTube and seeing our channel, and maybe they'll want to interact and stuff. So I mean, I like this. I like this new thing that we're doing, other than the fact that we have to get dolled up, or somewhat dolled up. I don't know. But it is
a little different, because before we could do that, yeah, jammies, no makeup on, you know, boogers hanging out our nose. It didn't matter, you know, we could do it. Nobody would notice.
I actually, can you see? I plucked my eyebrows.
Yeah, you look great.
But, oh my gosh! But
so what are you seeing now, Regina, on there? Because I'm seeing still me little and you big now. Is that what you're seeing?
Mm-hmm. I'm big and you're little down at the bottom. Yeah. Okay.
And yeah. I'm looking. So did I cut myself off there? I did. Okay. There we go. Now I'm seeing kind of what's going on. Now when we do the intro, I don't have to turn the computer. I can actually do what I just did.
Yeah. Well, and just so everybody out there knows, I'm in my daughter's room. So that's why there's like, I don't sleep in this tiny bed here. So this is a kind of office/daughter's room. You see all her trophies. Look, I can like over here.
Yeah, I sure can.
Maybe one day I'll have a area where I can just have my office. But anyways, I just wanted to let people. And usually there's a pug running around, but he's up. So.
Oh, you're the same. Look at me. I got a tree in the back. You know, all the boys are my boys are hidden. One's in one room, the other's in another room, and you know, just they're being good.
Well, my husband took both the kids out to spend some of their Christmas money and buy some last minute Christmas stuff. So it's quiet in the house right now.
Oh, are they going to do mom Christmas shopping?
Supposedly, but you know, I don't like surprises, so I'm hoping Lauren listened and to exactly what I want. I told you the other day that I told them nothing vibrating, which is not a nasty comment. That's not a nasty reference. That is no massaging anything, no foot baths.
Okay.
But I don't know. I'd rather have a gift card to go get an actual massage or go get an actual I don't. So anyway, so hopefully they listened, but
yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. Fingernails, toenails, the whole bit. Yeah. I understand that. Yeah. I think last year I made the mistake of telling my boys that I wanted to have, I actually wanted to have these footy slipper things that were heated so my feet would stay warm. And what they interpret that as is I wanted a foot bath. which that is not what I wanted. So they ended up taking that back. And what I got was these slippers that were connected together that vibrated. So I don't think I've ever used it.
Well, you know, that's and I don't mean to sound petty or anything, but you know, if we're not going to use it, you know.
Yep, it's a waste. My boys know that I'll point things out, and hopefully, you know, they did the best thing, and that would be a gift card, so I can go buy my own. That would be the best thing. Nah. Well, what I was going to talk about too, you know, we were talking about evidence and stuff like that. You know, how hard it is to, you know, to compile the evidence and to do actual research. I do want people to understand too that it's not like it is on TV. A lot of times we get requests to go do an investigation just because they want to be entertained, and they'll invite like their families, their, you know, everybody next door, everybody down the street, and we become entertainment. And that's not really what it's about neither. We're actually there to help people out. We've met nice people, and I could shout out to them now, you know, people that we're connected to now, friends lifelong, but they had honest, you know, home things that we went to, you know, honest spirits that were in their house that they wanted validation about. And that's what we wanted to present to them, you know, that kind of stuff instead of the other.
Oh, but I mean, we both had, whether it's me on the team I used to be on, or you with this, I mean, we've had so many times that, I mean, that we've gone and things like that happen, like where you just get there and it's like a, you know, who brought the chips and dip, because that, you know, I mean, it really is, because that's what they're treating it as. It's just purely entertainment. And I've had to leave. I got there and they didn't want to send anybody home, so I had to leave an investigation. I mean, luckily I hadn't, you know, I got there and saw what was going on, and I explained to them, and they didn't want to have the people leave, so I left, because I'm just not going to do that kind of thing. I'm not someone's entertainment. And also for me as a psychic medium, when I come, and I'm just going to put this out there, because I love all my clients. I have clients that I read for every couple months, every 3 months, and they're wonderful. But for the new people that I'm going to read for, this is probably for you. When I come to do a reading, and I do charge for my readings now, so that charge is for that person. That's for their personal reading. That's so they have, I open the space for them. It's one-on-one reading, whether it's you know, we're doing a tarot reading, or if we're doing a mediumship reading. Either way, that's for them. And I don't want to show up at your home and have Uncle Bob, Aunt Susie, little Timmy, all these people sitting at the table, because for me, when spirit comes through, whoever's there, it can come through for any one of them. So so I'm there for that one person. So I don't want to have to read for these other people. And if I do, I mean, this is what's great about this forum. I can kind of tell everybody what's going on. But if I do end up having to stay there for 2 hours, 3 hours, I'm going to have to charge for my time. If someone else ends up having a reading instead of the person I'm there for, I'm going to have to charge them for the reading. So these are just things that people have to respect our time, because it's valuable. I mean, you know, we set aside that time for those people, and I think it's just important to keep it that way, you know, for that person. So anyway, so I mean, it's really in any aspect of the paranormal, whether we're going to do the investigation or we're doing the readings or whatever. Respect our time, you know, respect that we're coming there to help you, or we're coming there to give you closure if we're doing a reading, or or help guide you if we're, doing tarot, or whatever. So anyway, so I mean, that's my little.
Well, you're doing good on that, because I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to come in now and add to it, because I think it's necessary, and I'm glad you opened that forum up for us to discuss this, because there's a different aspect to it, and I'm going to touch base on some of that too, like what you were talking about when we're doing a reading. And let me give an example of that. I've had couples come to me, and the woman wanted a reading and her husband's sitting in their room. Well, if there's some things that I need to discuss with her that I cannot discuss in front of the husband, then it's unfair to her. She's not getting a total accurate reading, because I don't want to say something that might offend the husband. So my advice to people is not to do that. Like what you said, the whole family's sitting there and you're trying to give a reading to one specific person, everybody else being there. It's a kind of a greedy thing. They're taking away from the person who's actually getting the reading done, and that's so unfair. So if you really love the person and they're paying for a reading, allow them that space and to enjoy that reading, and do a personal one-on-one. Because there's some things like not only do we talk about the medium things or the psychic things or the things that's going on when we're doing a reading, sometimes it's very personal, and it touched the heart, it touched the soul, and you can't do that with an audience. And so that's important for me to come across and get that too. The other thing, there's a number 2 point, since we've opened that can of worms, and that is, just because I'm a psychic doesn't mean I want to always be on. And I like my personal time. And so whenever I'm out, and me and Regina can talk about this. So when Regina comes to visit me and we go out and we go to St. Augustine and stuff like, we're going and we're having fun. Mm-hmm. We're not going and Regina is going next to me. Okay, Teresa, what's going to happen to me next week? Or what do you see in the future for, so-and-so? Or, hey, what do you think's going on over there? We don't do that to each other. We allow each other to have that freedom away from being that. What people don't realize is how much it takes out of us as a human. The abilities that we have, the gifts that we have, drain us. And Regina will let you know, you become ill after a while. I'm going through those things, right now, and your health declines. So, when I have friends, it's kind of like when you have a husband, like we were talking today, when you have a husband who's a mechanic or a husband who does things like that, and you introduce them to your friends and they start going, oh, this is broken on my car. Can you come fix it for free? That's not fair. Or I used to be a hairdresser, and I do not tell my friends I used to be a hairdresser, because I don't want to end up doing their hair for free. I really don't, I've had that happen to me. And same with a psychic. So I choose my friends wisely, and I don't want you to call me to ask me questions, personal questions. If you want a reading, pay me for the reading. I hate to say that. There's some people I do it for because I do. And that's for me to gift them, that thing. There's specific people that are close to my heart, and I will do that for free. But not just acquaintances, people I hardly know that I would not consider my family members or my best friends. So, just regular people. Another thing that I have with investigations, when we get called out for investigations, sometimes it's not really actually for investigation. They want a reading instead. So they need to predetermine also what the difference is in my house is haunted, I'm haunted, or I just want to know what's going to happen with me. Mm-hmm. So yeah. I had to share that, because sometimes we do get taken advantage of, Regina, and it does take a toll on our health. And a lot of people don't understand that. And that's why we ask to do this. And if I had to do this every single day, I would just be a sick person laying in bed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and that's why I have certain days that I want to read. I have certain days that I have I have about 4 people in line for readings, but I've explained to them, you know, I'm taking off until after Christmas. I have a reading on Tuesday, the day after Christmas, but that's because that was a very special Christmas gift to somebody, and I told them I would do it the day after Christmas. But I'm really taking off until after New Year's is what I you know, because when I think about the holidays, I mean, it's just getting through Christmas and then the New Year is right there. So I just want to get through the New Year, you know, and then I'll start reading for people again. But this is the person I'm doing a reading for is a longtime friend, and she purchased a reading. Even though we've been friends a long time, she purchased a reading. So she, I probably would have done it for free, you know, but she messaged me and said, no, I'm paying you for this because it's your time. It's your, and she realized this, it's your energy is what she told me. And so anyway, so I'm going to do that the day after Christmas. But yeah, I mean, like you were talking about, it's just people don't realize that people that have gifts that use them, whether it's us doing investigations or readings or whatever, it's exhausting. I mean, when I do an investigation, I'm no good probably for 2 days. I mean, I after the investigation, it's just like I need to rest the next day, and then the day after that is just like rest, and then just another day of just getting over it, you know. And then I'm usually pretty good, but I mean, it's just people don't realize that, and because that is all. When we are in situations where we're in an investigation, and if it is a active location, a haunted location, those spirits that are coming through are using our energy because they know that we know that they're there. So they're coming to us and through us to use that energy to, whether it's to turn lights on or move things or whatever they're doing in the, you know, for us to catch the evidence, they're using our energy. And so anyway, I mean, that's what leaves us exhausted after that. But anyways, I just, I think it's important, and especially for people that are close to us, like our team members, like our people that, say, for instance, the people that I'm out doing our walks here in Temple with, I can't just stop in the middle of an investigation or in the middle of a walk that I have 25 or 30 people there and talk to them about mom, dad, grandparents, or whoever has passed on, try to bring them through so they can talk to them. So that's another thing I kind of wanted to talk about. So if anybody that's going to go on my walks and stuff, if y'all would just please get with me afterwards. And I always offer a discount to those people that come on my walks if they want a reading afterwards. So, you know, in the days after the walk, I give them a discounted rate for an actual reading. So get with me with, you know, after the walk, and we'll talk about that, but not during my walk when I'm trying to do, you know, trying to give everybody some, you know, attention and stuff like that. So it's, I mean, I'm going back to what we were talking about before, though. It's just really respecting us and what we're doing, you know, and then we can give them more quality time, you know, to what we're, you know, what we're doing for them or with them. So anyways, I mean, I know we talk about this, Teresa, all the time. We're, you know, it's kind of like, because we know how it is, and we kind of, because we do the same things, you know, the similar things, and have to deal with similar people that are coming to us with these, you know, issues and stuff. So, but anyway, so I'm glad we have this to be able to let people kind of know what we go through daily, or what we go through when we're on investigations and stuff. And so maybe if more people watched, you know, videos like this, they would realize, oh, they're not just being rude, you know, because I don't want people to think I'm just being rude to them if I kind of say, I'll talk to you later, or, you know, or can we set a date up to talk or, something to that effect. I don't want people to think that I'm just being rude. There's more to it than just that. So.
Yeah, of course. Not only that, Regina, is, because it does, and we're not trying to come across that way. We appreciate everybody. And I've seen a lot of other people with our kind of gifts express these same concerns out loud lately, because it does feel like we get taken advantage of a little bit, and we do have kind hearts. That's why we're in the field that we are. We're in the field to help people. And a lot of times we counsel with them, especially after an investigation. I get very involved with our clients, and I get very involved with how they feel. I check on them. I want to know what's going on with them. And a lot of them I stay friends with. And most of them never have taken advantage of me like that. Any of my clients haven't done that to me. I've had people who been my client have been ill and been going through horrible things, and they've contacted me and said, "Hey, Teresa, I'm going through these horrible things. Can you help me out?" And I go and I volunteer my time and say, "Okay, let me come to your home. Let me do something for you. I want to gift you with this." Voice password to continue. And I don't know why my phone just decided to do that. Thank you, Spirit. That happens around us all the time. So like I said, we're live. I don't know why the phone decided to start calling anybody here, and I'm going to try and see if I can get it to stop. Anyway, it's like the best thing to describe it sometimes, like when we're out and about, we're having all kinds of things come to us, especially like me with the psychic things, and I'm sure you too, Gina, we're out and certain people, their vibes will hit us real hard and we'll know things about them. Doesn't mean we're going to express those things. Sometimes there's a place and a time for that too. A good example is when people want to ask about bad things that are happening. I prefer some of those things, if it's not changeable, not to express verbally what I'm feeling or seeing about them. I think that's more respectful to them. If it's something that can change an occurrence or something that can change an outcome, then I will speak my mind and help them if I feel the need to do that. But there's been times like I've been places and I've been with, certain people, and they'll say, well, what do you think about this person? Or what do you feel about this person? Or, hey, tell me about that person. We don't want to be on all the time. I don't want to do that on my free time. I want to be a normal person, even though I'm getting these messages and these images, because a lot of mine are images that pop into my third eye there that I see what's going on. And I don't want to have to do that all the time, and like we said, it is draining, and they do use your energy. Spirit. I even, before an investigation, get visited. I'll get visited by the spirits. After the investigation, I'll get visited. So there's nights that I don't even sleep because I have spirits that are waking me up. Not only does that happen, my illnesses also keep me up. So, that tends to make me more vulnerable, and I'm more vulnerable to being, seeked out more by spirit because of feeling ill or feeling, open, not protected. So it is a kind of a respect thing. And people, a lot of psychics, I do hear this, and I know several that are ill, that people don't respect that from them. And they'll, even though they know that they're going through things, will say, hey, what about me? Kind of sad.
Yeah, it really is, because I think a lot of people, like when you're doing readings and stuff for people, they see that as, especially when you're charging for the readings, they just see that as your job. Well, it's not just our job, because we choose to do that. It's not doing these readings. It's not a Monday through Friday 8 to 5 thing that we do, clocking in and out. It's do we have enough energy? Do we have enough time? Do we have enough is, how are we feeling? That's how I determine when I can do readings and things like that. Because if I'm already feeling down, if I'm feeling sick, because a while back I had the flu. It was like the flu, and then I hurt my back. All these things happen like boom, boom, boom. Well, when I'm going through those things, I'm no good to anyone. I don't have enough energy to do a reading like I should. I don't have no, it's not just a job. And if you don't get every bit of information that you're going into a reading expecting, sometimes, and I want to hit on this when we're going from one thing to another here, but like when we're doing a reading, and sometimes, and I want to get your input after I say what I'm going to say on this, Teresa, because when I'm doing a reading, there's certain things that us as psychic mediums, or just our psychics, or whatever your gift is, that I don't want to know I'm just going to say it this way. I don't want to know certain things. I don't want to know someone's death date. I don't think that I have never even been shown that. So I don't think it's something for us to know. I don't want someone to ask me, when am I going to die? How old am I going to be when I die? Am I going to die from, or ask, am I going to die from cancer? Am I going to die in an accident? All these things about death. I've had this happen more than a couple times recently. And it's not for me to know. What I can tell you is be careful with this situation. Be careful on the highways. Keep an extra watch out when you're driving. Have your heart checked. Have your stomach checked. Whatever I'm seeing, I'm going to warn them and give them a warning. Go have these things checked, because just a precautionary, type thing. But I am not going to tell people when they're going to die. I'm not, that's just not my job. And so that's just, and I just can't say it enough. I'm not going to tell people. So I don't know how you feel about that.
Oh, no, I agree. There's some things that, just like I got done saying, there's some things that you have no control over. That's how I determine whether or not I'm going to say something. If it's something I can't control, I'm going to give a good example of this. When my mom called me up and she said, Teresa, do you feel anything? I already knew about my mom. But I didn't want to take away her hope or her drive for life. And I think that sometimes when you say something to somebody, it's more powerful than you can even imagine. So those things, back to what you're saying, it's really not us that we should provide that information at all. Do we sometimes get feelings about things? Yes, we do. Do we always get feelings about things? No, not always. This is not, where everybody that walks by you will get messages about. It's the energy that comes at you from them, whether or not it's your time to know that information, for one thing. Whether or not you can connect with their energy is another thing. And then whatever you're shown, you have to also give to them so they could put it together. It's not like what a lot of people think it is, Yeah. It just depends, So I agree with you. There's some things that are better left unsaid. I've had visions of people whose significant others cheated on them and stuff. I've even had that done to me, and I knew about it, and I had those visions come to me. That's what I was talking about when you're doing a reading for a couple. When's the right time to say something? Not only that, you have to think psychology wise. Sometimes it's not best to even say it to them, because sometimes that causes a problem. So let's say the wife, you tell her that, and the wife goes home and tells the husband that you told her that, and he comes after you for telling her that. So
yeah, exactly.
There's different circumstances for different things.
Well, and the other day I did a reading, and I without saying too much about it, the lady had a tarot card reading years ago, and was told that she would die at a certain age, and she's approaching that age. And when she called me for the reading, I got extremely sick to my stomach, and I was just like, I felt her, what it was I was feeling her anxiety and her worry, and everything about the fact that she really might only have a couple more years to live, you know. And she was even contemplating retiring, quitting work, and doing all these different things. And I'm just sitting there thinking that, and I already knew going into the reading, the first thing I asked her was, did somebody tell you that you were going to die soon? Because I knew that I could feel that worry, you know, about this. And she confided in me and told me at that point, yes, I had a reading years ago, and everything I had just said. But anyway, so I went ahead and told her everything that we've been discussing about how it just was not that person's place to tell her that. And secondly, I believe the person who read her cards at that moment didn't even know what they were doing, but is what I was feeling. So, but anyway, so I had to fix, or so-called fix, what somebody else had done, what a false psychic had done with a card reading, because this woman, I saw her doing things in the future, which means I don't feel like she's going to die, you know, so I'm seeing her live her life and do all these things. And so I was like, if I see you doing these things 5-10 years down the road, that usually means you're not going to die, you know, anytime soon. You know,
the sad part about that, Regina, I'm going to bust in on that, because a lot of people don't realize when they're getting a reading done, the reading is for that time.
Yes.
Change. Things that you do in your life will change your circumstances surrounding your life. You know, if you make bad choices about something, of course, that's going to affect you, and it will have one set of circumstances and things that will happen to you. If you change that circumstances, you change what's going to happen to you. So whenever you read for somebody, that's for that moment, and that's for the things that are going on with them at that point in time in their life. Doesn't mean that it's not going to change, because it does change.
Mm-hmm.
So I just had to jump in on that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, and that's what I explained to us. You know, that everything you do in life, you know, this doing, like, for instance, the tarot reading, that is like kind of laying a path out for people. But if you don't follow that path, if you don't follow what the tarot's saying, you know, you're going to go a different way. Like you're saying, you're going to go a different way. If you follow that path 3 months from now, you know, it's every little thing that you do is making a new path. It's like setting a new path. Every little choice you make is setting a new path. So this is just really, like, tarot reading is giving people kind of a guideline to what you see, the things that they should maybe be, you know, it's what they should be doing, but not necessarily meaning that they're going to do those things.
Well, sometimes it's confirmation for what's happening. So a lot of times during the reading, you'll get confirmation what's happening in the present, and then you'll get advice on how to proceed. So, you know, you can either take that advice, or you can, you know, take that advice, either maybe go with that advice, or take that advice, internalize it, and maybe even get opinions somewhere else and go a different direction. I always say life is an ever-changing journey, and whatever we decide in our life changes our past, just like you said. You know, like my marriage to one of my husbands, you know, led me down a certain path. the marriage that I have now is leading me down a whole nother path. Now, if I was going to choose my path, I'm going to choose the marriage that I'm in now. And I probably never would have done the marriage that I did then, but I can't say that neither, because that marriage produced my son. So, you know, we all have different paths, and it has changed. It doesn't stay the same. And that's with life, period. You know, so people internalize a reading. Some people kind of like want you to do it all the time, and they live by that reading. I don't recommend that to anybody. You know, if you're going to get a reading done, you're getting validation of what's going on. You're also getting what we call spiritual counseling, and that's exactly what it is. Yeah. And you can either, you know, get personal with that, get personal with yourself, learn something about yourself, and maybe proceed from there in a more cautionary phase part of your life, or with enthusiasm, or with sadness, whichever direction you want to take it specifically, you know.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I like what you just said about spiritual counseling, because it really is for us that, because I have, like I was saying earlier, I have clients that come to me every 2-3 months, and it's funny to say it out loud, but they tell me every time, I'd rather come to you and have a reading and kind of be set on a path of with confirmation and knowing what's coming up and everything, then go see a psychiatrist, or go see a you know, then do that, because they are getting all that with us. They're getting to talk to us. They're getting to we're telling them what we see, and then they're able to come back and talk to us about really their problems, their issues, whatever it is. Because usually people are wanting to have a reading for a reason. I mean, there's always a reason behind that. So whether it's to see what's going to happen in relationships in the future, or you know, just whatever's going on in their life, financial, you know,
it's a need.
Reason.
It's a need. You know, they're wanting a need, and that need would be fulfilled, you know, just like you're doing anything, like a need to get your hair done, a need to get anything, you know, it's a personal need that they feel that they need that personal connection with somebody else to confirm to them maybe that they're not losing their minds about certain things. That it's even with, you know, investigations, you know, even when we go to people's homes, to show them that you don't have to be afraid, you know. There's so many things we can go, oh my God, Regina, you know, we could talk for hours.
Oh, I know. And we need to have segments like this is this you know, this week's or whatever, and talk about that, and then maybe kind of piggyback off of it and with something else the next time we do a show, because like yeah, we could talk forever. but
about everything, you know. This was, hey everybody, we're back, you know. And I know it's been what, I looked at the clock here, and it's already 8 o'clock, and that went by crazy. So we have so much to talk about, so much to share, and we would love to have your input about what you would like to talk about. Anybody who wants to talk, to even if you want to just come on the show and be part of the show and just talk to us and say, hey, you know, how do you become an investigator? How do you do this? Because a whole nother show is, guess what? My abilities ain't going to rub off on you.
Oh, you know? Yes. I can't wait for that one.
I kicked one personal. Yeah, let me kick that ball to you, because that's another misconception. You know, I died and got this ability, you know, and this ability was handed down to me. This ability wasn't something I learned. This ability was something that, you know, was given to me. God gave me this ability. That's the best way I can explain it. And, you know, what I do with it is up to me, and how I present myself is up to me. If I want to use it for good, that's up for me. You know, if I want to use it for bad, that's up to me. So there's so many things, you know, so many misconceptions about ghost hunting, paranormal investigations, mediums, psychics, you know, so much. And we can, you know, divulge into this, you know, so please let us know. What do you want us to talk about? What would you like us to discuss? Because these are our opinions. They may not be yours, you know, but they are ours. And, you know, we're free to discuss them here in this format.
Well, and I'm looking for, so the title of the next show will be, "No, my gift will not rub off on you."
That's important, you know. And not only that, hey, another one would be, you know, for me, with my team, I like what we call fresh paranormal investigators. I do like some seasoned investigators if they're real and they're willing to work together as a team and not like take over, you know. I worked hard to get my team together, and I kind of like, I formatted what I do based off of a team that I used to belong to, and I sistered off of them. And I really believed in a lot of the format of how they conducted their investigations. And that's where I came up with the idea of, you know, you have a command station, it's separate, you know, you go in at separate times, etc., and you keep it uncontaminated. That was important. Those are things I took from that team. The things I didn't take from that team, you know, can be listed also, because there's some things I didn't agree with, I'll never agree with, but there's sometimes when you learn to be pleasant, and you can keep that within yourself, and you can agree to disagree.
Yeah.
With how somebody believes. I never come out and tell somebody, no, don't, that's not the way you need to think. I'm like, well, if that's the way they think, that's the way they think. Let me present you with maybe another ideal. And if you want to divulge in that more, I'll share that with you. If you don't, you don't, you know, but we each have something that we can give to each other. So, you know, I don't want to keep us on here forever, Regina. So we're going to try to do this at least once a month.
Yeah.
Do you agree that's a good ideal?
Yeah.
And for an hour. And I don't know, you know, if anybody even came to see the show tonight live on YouTube here, but if not, that's okay. It's still the format. And it kind of gives you a personal insight to Regina's personality and my personality. That's important.
Yeah.
To get it out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I look forward to talking about all these different things and being very honest and open. And because I know a lot of people feel the same way. And if they don't, that gives them a chance to come on in and tell us why they don't feel that way too, you know? So, so I'm looking forward to doing this next month. And if anybody, like you were saying earlier, if anybody has a different idea for other topics and things, let us know. You can go to our, I guess, Facebook page, Into the Shadows with, is it Regina and Teresa? How do we do that?
Yeah, we did it that way. You know,
I can never remember how we have it on there, with Regina and Teresa.
Yeah, with Regina and Teresa.
And you can leave us a message there, a post on our page or whatever, and we'll get back to you and maybe have y'all on the show.
Yeah, and then we'll send you a link. We're going to post a link on our own personal Facebook pages and Into the Shadows. We're going to post the link to this YouTube video. And, you know, you can sit down and listen to us, get to know us as, you know, persons, and find our human quality and our personalities, and learn a little bit about us as we step forward. And if there's some ideas, some suggestions, of different things that maybe we could do differently. I know that on mine, I'm using live feeds a lot now in my investigations, which have worked real well for me. A lot of people are interested in that, and a lot of people join in. So please do that here too. I think that's important. So Regina, you know, I appreciate your time tonight too, and I wanted to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. And we'll kind of let you know when the next show is going to be. And, you know, I think it's
all right. Happy holidays. Have a nice New Year. We'll see you next year.
Oh, we sure will. Merry Christmas, everybody. Bye.
Bye.